Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to have a look inside of a Shorrock Supercharger. Here we got all the components. There's the main housing. Shorrock, pretty good. It's a 75B. What have we got here? So we got the housing, we got the end plate, the drive plate, supercharger vanes, and you have to hold them on a mandrel because in between each bearings, 8 bearings here for these 4 vanes, they are all shimmed and they are factory set. If it falls apart, you'll be there for weeks trying to figure out which shim goes where, so that's why you keep them all together on a mandrel. A special little spanner for the crown nuts. And this is the input shaft. This is one that I made on the lathe. I cut the splines on the lathe as well. It's an EN24, so it's like a chrome moly steel. Because the original ones are a tapered shank for a pulley, and they tend to break. So this thing is made out of solid billet. It was a lump like this. So it was about 95% wastage. It took ages. And then the final dimensions, because it's an assembly together with this drum. Because of that. Yeah. He spins up to 7,500 RPM, the engine speed basically. So the final dimensions, all of this for the bearing dimension, everything like that, is made on the lathe as an assembly with the drum, so it runs 100% through. That was quite tricky to do, and it's hard stuff. All right, let's see if we can put them together. So the first thing to go on is the drum with the new rear bearing, locates into the end plate. The retaining plate, which is just called this, that holds the bearing in. And then luckily the screwdriver is slightly magnetic, it actually helps. Get these little buggers to go all the way down here. We install the bearing plate, tiny little screws, and you need to pin them. It's an old-fashioned way of securing them, you know, before Loctite. So they're all pinned, they're all pegged rather. So they're ready to go. Now we can lubricate the shaft and put the vane assembly back in, what is not so easy. Right, so the vanes need to go back in the same hole, in the same orientation the way they came out, because the tolerance, these vanes run about 2 thousandths away from the housing, so everything's got to be exactly the same as it came out. It is very important. Heat, it's got to go in there. Centered. Right, and then slide them in. There we go. You will need a bit of persuasion. We'll see you back in a minute. Back again. Okay, so we introduced the vane assembly back inside the drum on the spindle, and then we secured it with a split pin. It requires a special little tool that I made to tighten that up. And then after that's done, you check them for rotation, spins lovely. And then you have to check the clearance of the vanes underneath here. It's between 4 and 6 thousandths in the total order. Then we are ready to put the housing on. Where's my little nail gun here? Okay. Okay. We can now bolt this side back together again. The Shorrock is approximately from the early 60s, so it's quite an old unit. They were popular to go on MG's Sprites and the small B series engine basically. He's good up to 1500 cc's, and we only use it on the 650, so he has got plenty of pressure. We're running about 12 psi boost on the bike. 12 psi when you give it to him. Is all fed by this boy here. He's an inch and a half for 38mm SU. You have to change the lever for a cable reel. It's 3/4 of an inch. It's an inch and a half on the throttle, so it's a half throttle, quick snap action. We made an extendable fuel bowl for it, so it'll hold a bit more fuel. And we made these fuel spigots, the stainless, they all tick together, and they are a 1/4 of an inch through bore, like the whole fuel system, and it runs on a fuel pump as well. So with these days with modern fuel, I put a nice brass drain bung in it, so it's really easy to let the fuel off before you put them away in the winter. Okay guys, so it's all installed. We checked the clearance on it, split pins in. We could check the clearance if I can find me. We've just done it. The vanes here. Is 4000, so I've done it before. Quick thing how it works. This is the exhaust, runs to the carburetor. That's the outlet. This is the inlet coming from the carburetor, and let's start here. So when this vane just passes the inlet port, the space, well, I'll just turn around, between these two gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So he sucks his mixture, in this case, he sucks his mixture in, keeps going, so the space gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So now all the mixture is in here, gets bigger and bigger, and the inlet finishes about here, the track, little track in here. And then when he gets past about there, that is your charged mixture. And then he turns around more, and then the space gets smaller. Smaller, 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 see? So the volume gets smaller, so the mixture gets compressed. And then by the time this port, this vane here, passes the port, the outlet, it gets smaller and smaller, and it all gets squeezed out till this one goes past the port there, and then the whole charge that was here is now gone into your engine, and it keeps doing it. So that's how it works. So now we're so it's really nice. You can see the action of it, how the vanes move in and out. It's an amazing thing. Yeah, so that's how it works. So now we're ready to put the end plate on. Now this boy's got to go on. Because it was machined as an assembly with the drum, he's got to go exactly in the same orientation as he has been machined. So we have got some marks. We'll be able to find them. They 2 dots. And on the inside here, we got 2 dots. So them 2 dots correspond with that one. Put screws in. It was a long operation making this piece. transferring all the holes, all the dowel pins, all the work. And the splines got cut by hand on the lathe. They say a vane pump, that's basically what it is. A vane pump supercharger is actually a true supercharger, as in the pressure gets made inside the unit before it exits, before it comes out of the exit. Whereas a blower, the name says it's on itself, it's just a gigantic ventilator, you know, and it makes this pressure in the manifold after it leaves the supercharger. So arguably they say this is a real supercharger. For its size, they are very, very effective. They were very popular for drag racing also. Nearly any British drag bike from the 60s, the 70s and the 80s, they all ran on these. They also do 144B, I think it is, and he is twice the size. He's a 9-inch supercharger. This is a 7-inch. And they are good for engines up to about 3 litre. The Hobbit, two Westlake engines coupled together, ran 2 Shorrocks. Shotgun, he ran one big shotgun, one big Shorrock. Yeah, there's loads of them. They used to be absolutely everywhere, these things. But yes, they are getting old now. So the original end cap is a forging. They tend to break there from over revving them when they were used in drag racing. So mine broke, so I had to make this out of solid billet. So it's strong. It won't. It'll last my lifetime, I would say. Another special tool. Right, I'm going all around. All these need peening or pegging. Okay, it's all done. I'll bring you back after I put the end plate on. That's the next thing to do. I need to put some sealant on it, and then he's back together again, back complete. Unit is all complete now. The metering valve is installed and he's ready to go back in the bike. Tomorrow we got some friends coming over from Switzerland, and they will be bringing their race bikes, and they'll be staying the night here, ready to go on site like on Monday and start prepping for the race. So I only just got this thing back together again, just in time. He slides in here. There's double bearings there on the female spline that I also had to cut. We've got the vernier gearbox adjustment here, you can see it. So there's quite a lot going on with plates, and here's a better look at the manifold. That is not a Triumph manifold, I made it. So I think we're ready for to put them in.